Hi everyone, welcome to All Inspired. Today we are getting ready for back to school. How are y'all feeling about it? If you're new to my channel, I actually have two stepdaughters and a soon-to-be 19-year-old daughter. So she graduated last year, so I don't really have any more back to school anymore. My husband has the two younger daughters, and we do get things ready for them, of course. They have, they're still little kids, but as far as like meet the teachers and all that good stuff, I'm pretty much done with all of that. And it's kind of nice and it's kind of sad at the same time. I probably feel like most of you guys feel. It's kind of nice that your kids are going back to school, but it's kind of sad at the same time because they're going back to school and summer's over. And so there's pros and cons to everything, but last year was my daughter's last year in school. I set all this up for her whenever I redid her room, and in here there's just plenty of pencils. There's actually some mechanical pencils too because they like those. I put a big white eraser in here. There's a pencil sharpener. I put the batteries in it and it does work. And then I just have some other pencils and colored pencils and stuff, and she can come in here and she can draw and do her own thing, but this is also set up to do homework. She knows exactly where the pencils are. If she has any paper homework, she can come straight in here. She can grab her pencil, she can sharpen it, she can erase, she has anything. Because what they do is, and then she can just, I also left space in both of the kids' areas for them to be able to put a book that they're reading that week that makes everything right here ready to go. And then I'm going to grab their Chromebook charger. There's my cat. Crazy. I'm going to grab their Chromebook charger and I'm going to plug it in behind this dresser so that it's sitting right here so that their Chromebooks are ready to be charged. So I'm going to do that in a minute. I have to go find them. I'm not even sure where they are, but she has this area set up where she can pull it right over, do her homework, and then be all finished with it. After she gets done with her homework, my husband checks it over when he gets here, but they just kind of come up into their room. Well, the oldest does, and I think the youngest is going to like that this year. But the oldest doesn't have as much like paperwork to do. She has a desk in here, and eventually we'll get the younger one something like this too. She used to do her homework down at the kitchen table, but I think she's going to want to do it in her room this year, which is perfectly fine, so I set that station up for her. She can do it at the table if she wants, but in here it's mostly her drawing stuff, but then again, she has all the pencils, sharpeners, and erasers in the event that, that's not an eraser, I'm not even sure what that is, but she has everything she needs. There's some erasers down in here, so she has everything she needs to get any paperwork done. A lot of their stuff is done on their Chromebooks, so she's not going to have a ton of paperwork, but she also has all her art supplies. If she feels like drawing, they can just hang out in here and draw and all that good stuff. And so down in here I just put just some extra things. These are extra markers that didn't fit in the bin. These are like colored pencils, and then styling pin, just the extra sharpener, just extra things. This is her artwork, and then this is for like any extra books or anything that she needs in here. She can also store her book up here, but wherever she wants to put it, so we know. So here is the kids' school supplies. I actually had a bunch of stuff that was left over from volunteer work that I did for a back to school drive, and so I just got lucky. We had just so many extra pencils and stuff, and they didn't have anywhere to store it, so they let the volunteers take some of the stuff home. So I just had a bunch of stuff left over, but I had to pick up some extra items like the Clorox wipes and things like that that they just need for school. But then the kids got to pick out like their notebooks, and there wasn't a ton like to pick out. Like they had pens and stuff like that, but there just wasn't a ton of stuff to actually pick out. So this is just like all the odds and ends, just the little random things that they needed. And because I saved so much money using the products that I had from the back to school drive, we got her a new backpack. She hasn't got one. She used the same one last year, So she hasn't got one since she's been in middle school, so we went ahead and got her a new backpack. We find her a backpack that her binder would fit in. So she just had this oversized binder. She had stuff shoved in there everywhere. And we went ahead and we picked her up this off of Amazon, this 5-star binder, which is fantastic. It doesn't need to be huge and bulky. They just need a zip-up binder. You can tell I already have stuff in here for her. She has all the things that she needs, her pencils, her whatever, her pencils, her pens. She likes the mechanical too, so we got her some of those. She has her ruler in here, but they also have these folders right back here. You can put each of your assignments for the week in these little tabs, which is ideal because, like I said, she had this huge binder last year and she just had months and months worth of papers just shoved in her binder. And so this way she has to keep it clean and organized. She can only leave up to a week's worth of papers. They do most of their stuff on the Chromebook anyway, so she shouldn't need a ton of papers in here, but this will keep it limited. You can only store a few items in here per each subject, and that's it. So I really think this will help her out this year. But she also has a pencil bag to go in here. It just has all of the extra items that they needed, the glue, all that stuff. This stuff, Chromebook, and just slide it on into the front of the binder, and so you don't actually have to have it in the binder. It's easily accessible. I like that. She also has a little pocket right here, which I can pop this off because we're definitely going to keep it. But she also has this little pocket right here. I don't know about you guys, but our kids have earbuds, and so she can just slide her little earbuds right into there.
I went ahead and picked up this little acrylic daily planner from the Dollar Tree. Y'all, if you've seen anything at the Dollar Tree, pick it up. I think I saw these in June and I haven't seen them since, but I thought this was a great way to put a whole checklist of the things that they need to get done in the morning just to get them back on their normal routine. And so I was going to use my Cricut, but unfortunately the words were too small and I couldn't read them and it wouldn't fit and it was getting frustrating. I don't particularly love my handwriting, but I'm working on it. So I figured might as well write it all out and get this on here, but it worked tremendously. The kids had back to school yesterday and this really helped everything run smoothly.
I wanted to show you guys this little area down here. This is like underneath our stairs. It's in the basement, but I just set up little bins of extra stuff. There's pencils and markers and different art supplies in here and some painting easels. There's all different types of paper, lined paper, construction paper, paper boards back here. We don't have any posters, but we have notebooks, crayons. These are just little activities. Some different stickers and other supplies, a ton of beads. And then over here we have a little calendar. I'll put the chalkboard that I used for the tablescape down here too. But we have glue. This is for the chalkboard. Paint. There's just a little globe that we have down here. I've had that forever. But in these bins we just have a bunch of stuff. More stuff, more rubber bands. Science kit that we can do, paint, a lot of painting. And then they have Play-Doh and some different activities. This is like a heat gun. They can make like 3D objects with it. They love that. And then they have tie-dye stuff. This is a crayon or a marker thing. I don't even know. More stuff. You can make sidewalk chalk with these. But just a bunch of stuff in here. All their painting gear and stuff, and that way if they have any like upcoming school projects that we need to do, they can come down here, they can grab the stuff that they need and they can work.
Now I just want to get a cute little tablescape set up for them. I went ahead and laid down a tablecloth, and then I have this burlap, and I'm just going to kind of layer it to look kind of like a table runner. I thought it turned out really, really cute. I wish I would have had like a thicker piece of burlap, but I just didn't have one on hand. So I just took this one and I just kind of layered it up. And once I put everything on top, you don't really see the lines in between. I just thought it looked, I don't know, a little bit weird because instead of being a full table runner, it's several different pieces across the table. And I just kind of loosened it up and just kind of made it look a little bit more voluptuous. I don't know if that's the right word, but just made it look a little bit more fuller and just a little bit better. It kind of looks a little wonky now. You're kind of looking at it and you're like, oh, that looks weird. But once I set the stuff on it, it really doesn't look too bad. So I went ahead and put this cutting board on there. I love this. I think this is called Purple Walnut. This actually came from a friend of ours. He does a ton of woodworking and he actually made this and I just love it. We've never cut anything on it. I do set stuff on it, but I typically put like napkins or something down and then I'll set food on it. It's one of my most favorite things that we have, one of our most favorite cutting boards. It's two different tones of wood. It's really hard to see it from this view, but it's just such a beautiful piece. And so I put that right in the middle so that we can put a little charcuterie board for the kids in the morning. And then I'm just gonna set this up really festive and fall-like. I'm not putting out any pumpkins or anything like that, but I am going to start off with the apples. So I have this little bucket and I just took a pillow cover and stuck it in there. It's really bright on the one side, but it was like a burlap on the other side. So I just stuck that in the bottom of my little bucket and then put my apples in. I thought that was really cute. It's also functioning. Our kids eat apples in the morning all the time, so they can grab an apple and eat it out of there if they want to, but I thought that was really, really cute to set that up. And then I'm gonna just put some fall leaves. It's getting a cooler where we are. It's still really hot during the day, but in the evenings and the mornings, it is cooling off. And we do have a tree that's right, you can see it diagonal from our front door, and it is already starting to change colors. So I thought that this little garland was appropriate. Plus, the kids love anything like whimsical, fantasy. You know, they're not into princesses or anything like that. They're not really girly, but anything like magical and fantasy and things like that, they just love. So I don't know what more you could do to make something magical by adding fairy lights. So I went ahead and grabbed these fairy lights. I'm putting the batteries in there and then I'm just going to add it to the table scape.
I think this turned out really cute. I just did a really simple garland with some lights. We have some cashews right there. This is the charcuterie board I'm going to use for tomorrow's breakfast. And then just a few cute little apples. I'm also going to take this guy and stick it back here because I made that with my Cricut. So I'm going to stick that in the middle. Yeah, and then this will be, we have cinnamon rolls and fruit and a few things we're going to stick on there in the morning. This is just from, yeah, but that's what it looks like overall. It's hard from back here, but it says back, there's a big blue too. Back to school 2023-24. I didn't use transfer tape or anything. I just kind of stuck it on there. I'm cool with it kind of looking wonky. I don't mind it. I kind of wanted it to look wonky. I didn't feel like it needed to be perfect. So, I think it turned out super cute.